Forgive my intruding. Tony, I want you to come with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
I need hardly say this, but this is as painful for Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is for you people, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes. But in a way, no. Now, I'm not the kind of person who tries to run other people's lives. But the fact is, Mr. Kirby, I don't think these two young people have as much sense as, you or I have.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
I'm only talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
You want me to do that for you, Alice? No thanks, Mother.
You have plenty of time before the train leaves, Alice.
Will you send a cab to 761 Claremont Broadway, please? That's right. Thank you.
Wait, Alice.
Father.
Are you ready, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, I suppose after last night, you think this family's kind of crazy.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm not accustomed to going out for dinner and then spending the night in jail.
Well, you've got to remember that you came on the wrong night. Tonight, I'll bet you nothing will happen at all.
It was not merely last night, Mr. Vanderhoff, that assured Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be very unwise.
I can handle my own affairs, Father. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No, Tony, I know exactly what your father means, and he's right.
No, he's not, Alice.
Now, Alice, you're in love with this boy, and you're not marrying him because we're the kind of people we are.
Grandpa.
And I know you think the two families won't get along. Maybe they won't. But who says that they're right and that we're wrong?
Grandpa, I didn't say that. I only feel...
And I feel that Tony's too nice a boy to wake up in 20 years with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Mixed up and unhappy. Well, you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff. I'm a very happy man.
Are you?
Certainly I am.
I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No. You get it because most of your time is spent doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Yes, you do. You said it yourself that after a week on Wall Street, you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep on? Why, it's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Why not? You've got all the money you need. You can't take it with you.
That's certainly an easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I've spent my entire life building up my business.
And what's it got you? Same kind of mail every morning? Same kind of meetings? Same kind of deals? Same dinners at night? Same indigestion? Where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? Must have wanted more than that when you started out. We haven't got a whole lot of time now, any of us.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Live like you do? Do nothing?
I have lots of fun. Time enough for everything. I read, talk, visit the zoo, practice my darts. Even have time to notice when spring comes around. I don't see anyone I don't want to. I don't have 6 hours of things I have to do before I get 1 hour of things I like in. And I haven't taken bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. What's the matter with that?
What's the matter with it? Well, suppose we all did that. A fine world we would have, everybody going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who do the work?
There's always people that like to work. Inventions, they fly the ocean. Plenty of people to go down to Wall Street, too, because they like it. From what I've seen of you, I don't think you're one of them. I think you're missing something.
I'm not aware of myself missing anything.
I wasn't either till I quit. Used to get down to the office at 9 o'clock sharp, no matter how I felt. Used to lie awake at nights for fear I wouldn't get that next contract. Used to worry about the world, too. Got all worked up about whether Cleveland or Blaine would be elected president. Seemed awful important at the time. But who cares now? What I'm trying to say is, Mr. Kirby, I've had 35 years that no one can take away from me, no matter what they do to the world. You see?
Yes, I do see, Mr. Vanderhoff, and that's a very dangerous philosophy to have. Why, it's un-American, and it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony to come under this influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
What's the matter with it? Well, it's downright communism. That's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
Tony, what are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so. Because there was a time when you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
Tony, don't be an idiot.
Oh, yes, you did. I came across those letters you wrote to grandfather. You remember those?
No. How dare you read those? How dare you?
Why isn't that wonderful? Did you wear tights, Mr. Kirby?
I certainly did not. The whole thing is absurd. I was 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Tony!
And at 21 you ran away from home because grandfather wanted you to go into the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well, well, well. I may have had foolish notions in my youth, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I forgot all about them and went straight into business.
Not altogether. There's still a saxophone in the back of your clothes closet.
There is. Tony, we'll discuss this later.
I want to discuss it now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back to that office. I've always hated it, and I'm not going through with it. I'll tell you something else. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
Tony, for heaven's sake.
Because I wanted you to wake up. I wanted you to see a real family as they really were. A family that loves and understands each other. You don't understand me. You've never had the time. Well, I'm not going to make your mistake. I'm clearing out.
Clearing out? What do you mean?
I mean, you're not going to be pushed into business just because I'm your son. I'm getting out while there's still time.
But, Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe you'll be a bricklayer. At least I'll be doing something I want to do.
Ah, that must be the cab.
Ask him to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa.
Do you mind, Alice?
Now, Mr. Kirby, Tony's acting the same way that you or I did. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same things to your father 20 years ago. We all did it, and we were right. How many of us would have settled when we were young for what we'd eventually get? All those plans we make, what happens to them? Only a handful of the lucky ones say they even came close. What I'm trying to say is, before they clean out that clothes closet, I'm getting a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the princess, how many will there be to dinner?
Your Highness, may I introduce Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
How do you do? Before I make the blitzes, how many will there be to dinner?
Oh, quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can't ever tell.
Good. These are always said to me, Olga, do not be stingy with the blitzes.
Excuse me, Mr. Vanderhoff, who did you say that was?
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
Speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Please do, Mr. Kirby. We've got all that food we were going to have last night. I mean, tonight.
Looks like it's going to be a nice dinner. It'll kind of give us a chance to get acquainted.
How about it, Father? Are we staying to dinner?
Well, if you care to, Tony, I'd like to very much.
Now, if I also sent away that cab, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How about it, Alice? Looks like it's going to be a nice crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
I'm staying, Alice. Our families ought to get to know each other, shouldn't they?
Mr. Kirby. Tony, oh, Tony.
Darling.
Grandpa, you're so wonderful.
I've been telling you that for years.
There's a letter for you, Grandpa. It was in the icebox.
Let's see here. Government again.
How do you do, Mr. Kirby?
How do you do?
What is it, Grandpa?
The United States government apologizes. I don't know him a nickel. Seems I died 8 years ago.
Why, what do they mean, Grandpa?
Remember Charlie, the milkman, buried under my name?
Yes.
Well, I just told them that I was Martin Vanderhoff, Jr. So they're very sorry. I may even get a refund.
But Grandpa, you're an old crook.
Sure.
Pardon me, Mr. Vanderhoff, how did you say you escaped the income tax?
Tonight, my friends, we are going to eat.
Hello there!
How do you do?
Fine, fine, good to see you.
What is happening?
He's relaxing.
Oh.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You can all sit down.
Pick up the chair. Go. No, I don't think so.
Mr. Kirby. It's rough.
Mr. Kirby.
I'm sad, but look at this.
Are you different?
I think he is.
He's fine, but let's eat.
Quiet. Quiet, everybody. Quiet down. Well, sir, here we are again. Everything's going along fine. Looks like everyone's going to be very happy. Alice is going to marry Tony. I think they're going to be very happy together. Of course, all the fireworks blew up. But that was Mr. DePinna's fault. Not yours. So, we've all got our health. As far as anything else is concerned, I'll leave that up to you. Thank you.
Comment.
Mr. Sickles.
Like it, like it in there.
Food.